Alright, what is up all my gamers out there? Today we are playing Dark Souls 2. I'm going to start the Let's Play from the beginning. In the most recent video I put up, I only gave you the highlights because I had started recording from the beginning and then I got my ass handed to me again and again and again, and it wouldn't have been interesting for you to watch me get, killed 1,000 times. So I decided to start a new character now that I have a little bit of a sense of where I'm going. And I'm really going to show you how the beginning goes. We start in the area called Things Betwixt. This character is just a default character. You don't get to customize until you get into this first house right here. And we got a bunch of old ladies playing bingo.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my.
There is no ruckus. I walked in quietly.
The face of the curse.
And that's a bit rude, but alright.
It's an undead. An undead has come to play.
Alright, well. Okay. Time to make my character again. Let's see. What should I name him? I always like naming my characters after Game of Thrones characters. That's just the scheme I followed in Dark Souls 1. So I guess I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna name this guy, I guess Jaime. Because Jaime Lannister is one of my favorite characters. Yes, it was okay. Yes, I'm sure.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward.
Alright, old lady,
For
calm down.
sharing.
What's my reward?
It's a human effigy.
Great. Thank you for that. Okay, let's create the character. There's some decent character customization this time. In the first game, you could be like a fat white guy, a fat black guy, or a lady. Like, there was no customization, really. It was awful. But I'm glad to see they really upgraded that. I'm going to keep this guy pretty much stock. Because, I mean, he looks pretty good already, and you're not going to really see your character's face much. Gender, 100% male. Build. Make him athletic. Look at him, he's ripped. Alright. Class and gift. I am a knight. That's just my favorite starting class, or one of my favorites at least. I like the sword and shield type gameplay. And the gift, we're going to pick a human effigy. And that should be good. That should finalize this for us. That is my true self.
All people come here for the same reason.
Alright, I'm just going to skip the cutscene. And I can't use any of those sweet DLC weapons yet because I am not a high enough level. I have to put a couple stat points in first. Was this the way I came? I always get confused in this house. Nope, I went the right way for once. Bonfires are going to be your save points. That's where they're also I guess you could call it a warp. Essentially, you can warp between bonfires that you visited, so you don't have to spend all your time walking around the world. Soul of a Lost Undead and the Ye Olde Torch. Alright, now let's go on an adventure. Entering a mist is rarely good. It usually means you're about to be attacked, or you're going through a boss, or you just don't know. And those guys are a bunch of noobs. That's right, I want to put a shield on. I definitely encourage using a shield. They toned down the invincibility frames from Dark Souls 1. You can still dodge roll, but it's much harder to avoid attacks now until you get the hang of it. So I believe shielding is going to be very important. It'll be interesting to see how that ends up in the meta game. Dagger, that's useless, but thank you. try to bow and arrow me when I'm right there, you big dummy. Okay, we're just gonna keep moving on forward. A couple more hollows to fight. I really like how they made the hollows now. They really look like zombies. Dark Souls 1, they kind of just looked like talking skeletons, I guess. I don't know. I'm definitely liking the new artistic choices they made for the game so far. And I believe, why does it always happen? I always kick the ladder and then I think Snuggly tries to talk to me. Anyway, there's a crow that I'm gonna assume this is where Snuggly's nest is, but Snuggly the crow will hang out there and will ask you to give him an item to keep him warm. And what you can do is you can drop an item in there, and then if you reload your game, he'll trade you something different. So, I mean, they're always set trades. He doesn't trade you random stuff, but you can get some good things out of it. In Dark Souls 1, there were a few exclusive spells and items that you could only trade certain things to obtain them. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to experiment with and see what I can get from Snuggly. But I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Alright. So this is, I think, my third time recording this beginning gameplay. The first time, I died too much, so I just scrapped the footage. The second one I recorded this morning, well, it ended up that Audacity stopped recording my voice, so... And then the capture card actually didn't even record the gameplay, so... I don't know what's going on with my computer. I don't know if maybe I just didn't hit the buttons because I'm still trying to wake up or what, but yeah, you could say I was a little bit rustled by that. You know, what are you gonna do? I mean, I think this game's really fun anyway, so re-recording it's basically a labor of love anyway. So, not a huge deal, but I hope it works this time. I'm not gonna go through there, because that always gets me killed. I always mess up the jump. Oh, I want to point out real quick, if anyone else is just starting that game, you see that big guy over there, that like big daddy dude? Well, it looks like a coffin that's in the water. If you get into the coffin, and it'll start a cutscene, and then you climb out of the coffin, you will change gender. This happened to me, and I didn't know what it did, so when I came out of the coffin, all of a sudden I had a lady voice, and I had boobs. I was like, what just happened? Was this a glitch, or what? But, yeah, that was weird, so... Just, if you needed to change your character's gender, that is available to you. And these orange messages written on the ground, they are suggestions for you. Some will tell you or warn you about traps or boss ahead, bonfire ahead. But some of them, they're also traps, or they're lying to you. So you have to take each message with a grain of salt and still be cautious. Like, for example, I saw in Dark Souls 1, there were a lot of messages where, take this cliff for instance, there would be an orange message here and it would say try jumping or something like that. So you're thinking, oh cool, maybe there's a surprise or some like sweet loot down there. No, you're just gonna die. And that's just Dark Souls for you. It tries to kill you in any way possible. Alright, so this is Majula. This is basically the new hub world. This is where you're going to be going to find the blacksmith and also the Emerald Lady. She's right up ahead under that tree. You go to her to upgrade your Estus Flask, which is basically your healing potions that you can refill at the bonfire. And you also have to go to her to level up your stats.
Go on, and he who make king.
Thank you for the Estus Flask. Okay, and you can also upgrade your Estus Flask. You only start with 1 right off the bat, which is different than in Dark Souls, where you started off with 5 at every bonfire, except for the first bonfire, which had 10. So you have to find these Estus Flask shards around to give them to the Emerald Lady, and then you can upgrade them. And you get an additional flask per shard you bring her. And I'm going to show you where you can find a shard right off the bat. There's this little well here. Just hit that little boulder, and up comes the shard. Then you take it back to the Emerald Lady, and you'll get your second Estus Flask, which you really want to do that. You can't possibly underestimate the necessity of healing. If you don't heal, you'll probably die a lot, unless you're an MLG pro or something like that.
For misery, you will
Talk to me,
seek
lady.
their soul once you have, so that hope.
I just want to give you the shard, please.
Here to see light. However,
Lady, come on. Thank you. You hit upgrade your flask, give her the shard, assume the prayer stance, and boom, Estus Flask strengthened, which means I now have 2, as you can tell by the bottom left-hand corner. Over here you have the blacksmith. I believe his name is Lenegras.
I packed my
He's a big dummy.
now
He
somebody's
locked
gone
himself out
and
of his
locked the
house.
door.
So we have to get the key for that. We'll find that in the Forest of Fallen Giants, and that's going to be in the next section of the Let's Play series. Figure I can cover 1 section of the game per episode. I think that should be fair, and that's barring anything happening like me dying a bunch of times or just having trouble with a boss or something like that. I figure that should work out nicely. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should cover in this section for you guys. So I'm going to see if I can level up, but that's only because I can't use the sword I want yet. Most weapons have stat requirements that you have to meet in order to effectively wield them, but basically, when you have a lot of souls, you want to spend them on weapon and armor upgrades first. You don't want to put them into just leveling up immediately, because say you leveled up your strength stat 1 or 2 points, you're only going to get an extra few attack points of damage. If you leveled up your weapon that you attack with, you'll get much higher returns in damage output. So that's really where you want to spend your souls first, and then you want to level up. So that's kind of the rule of thumb, I think, for most of the Souls games, is go with better gear first and then level up. That's right, I have to talk to her to level up now, since they changed
bearer
that in
of the
Dark
curse,
Souls 1. You
seek,
could level up at any bonfire.
lest this land swallow you whole.
Let me level up. I hope I have enough souls to level up. No, I don't even have enough. Are you kidding me? Alright. Do I have any... Oh, Soul of the Lost Undead. Maybe that'll help. Oh, it helped a little bit. Well, over there is the Forest of Fallen Giants entrance, so we're going to be heading there in the next episode. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, so stay tuned for more. Like I said, I want to cover a section per episode. Let me know what you guys think, suggestions you want to see, or if you have any questions or comments about Dark Souls 2, let me know. I absolutely love this game, and I definitely want to play with anyone that wants to play sometime. So I will see you guys next time.